Yes, boys. How are we all doing? It's been a while, or it feels like it has. Been a week, I think. What have we been doing? So, we've got a couple of sessions over. We've had a couple of sessions in at the new gym that I said I might be training at for a few sessions a week in Halifax, called Optimise Gym. We trained there last Wednesday. We did legs there, and then we trained there on Saturday as well. We did hamstrings and back. Perfect for what we need. Perfect for what we need. Not only has it got some good equipment, but it's very quiet, and that's what we like. Can't be asking no crazy busy gym. There's like a handful of people in there when we go at the time we train, so perfect. It's exactly what we need. But yeah, man, we're gonna get a back session in today, biceps, and we might finish with some deadlifts. I'm gonna do deadlifts on Saturday with hamstrings, but my lower back was too pumped. So we ended up doing some hyper extensions instead. I'm just getting the right lane here. Yeah. My guy Phill competed at the weekend in PCA first timers class down in Derby. He got third out of 14 guys, which I am very, 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 very happy with. And he's over the moon. If you've seen this, if you check out my Instagram and you see the, you'll see like sort of like his start position, and yeah, he had no intention of competing, but more so because he just didn't believe it was possible. Not because he didn't wanna, he just didn't believe it was possible. And then I think a good probably 9 months ago, earlier on this year, because I literally started coaching him probably like a year ago. I checked the first his first check-in, and it was November last year. So yeah, about a year, like maybe like a week short of a year we've been working together. But yeah, and then about 9 months ago I said to him, because he wanted to do a show next year, and I said, look, why don't we just get a show done this year and get the first one out of the way. And there's a lot of benefits. I know a lot of people say, you shouldn't be doing the first show unless you've got so and so amount of muscle, blah blah blah. But when you're 38, how much muscle are you gonna fucking put on one? And classic is a different class. Classic, you don't need significant amount of muscle. You just sort of like need enough. The most important thing with classic, in my opinion, obviously, apart from being balanced, is the condition. Which, if you've never really been in contest condition, and you've been like up and down all your life in terms of like body fat's been high, then you don't really want to, like, it's one of them where the first time you get in true shape, it's fucking hard, man. It's a fucking slog. Yeah. So I said to him, I goes, look, why don't we just do a show? Why don't we do your first show this year? They were like, what? Do you think I can? And I'm like, bro, we can fucking do anything. So yeah, we did that. Wasn't straightforward, but we pushed him, brought him in. His glutes were peeled, hamstrings were fucking the most peeled out of everyone on stage. But again, because it's one of them where if body fat comes off in certain areas more than others, and it's not balanced, because you're not sort of like, to me, when you compete all the time, it is easier to sort of like get that balance. But if you've come over from being a straight up fat fuck, body fat's going to come off different places at different times, and then it becomes this argument of, should you not bring him in full peeled, because the more you dig for condition, the more you're going to sort of like lose certain body parts. But again, like I said, classic, and if somebody don't really have that size, you can't really fucking play that game, and you just got to fucking push for that condition, and ultimately you've got to make sacrifices. And to me, that's what the first time's for, really. Seeing what you look like when you push it, because ultimately, especially at the beginning, like you do really want to try and bring that condition, man. It's one of them where if you're peeled, like the way I see it, yeah, and the way like when I compete, if you're as peeled as you can be, yeah, and then you go to the judges and they're like, right, size is there, sorry, condition with, if the judges anyway, if your judges' feedback is condition with there, you need to be bigger, that's like perfect. Now what I need to do is I need to grow for next year. Whereas if you compete and it's like condition weren't really there, and obviously they're always going to say as well that you need more size, it's going to be one of those things where you're going to think, I've not done everything I can this time round. So yeah, but we brought the condition, so then next year when he competes, it'll just be a case of getting that. It won't be as hard to get the condition at all, it'll be easier. Like his food will be a lot higher and he'll have a lot more muscle. Yeah, and it'll just be a totally different. Like I remember my first show, fuck me, I had no idea what I was doing. There's certain things that you do what I think, cardio, yeah, I can miss it this day, or it don't really matter if I don't get my heart rate up, or you know what I mean, or whatever. Don't really matter if I do it faster, don't really matter if I do it post workout or whatever time it day. But yeah, but if your coach thinks you're doing it a certain way and you're just doing it however you want, that's when it sort of like makes a difference. Yeah, but yeah, I give him, so he's having a few days off now to reset mentally, eat some food, chill out with his missus, and then he's going to check in tomorrow, so it's Monday today, he's going to check in Tuesday, and then we're going to go from there. And then what I do want to do is, first of all, I want to get him, I'm going to get him healthy and just sort of reverse out of it, but I'm probably going to push his food, and we're going to do almost like a rebound from food, but not aggressive. Like I'm not going to fucking, like, fuck me, it one of them where if you knew how low, so his calories had to go, like the lowest they went, man, were like, I think it was like 1600, and fuck me, that's low. But saying that, he only weighs like what, about 76 kilos, 75 kilos are his lowest weight, so you're gonna have to push low with food. But 1600 calories, fucking hell. It's fucking low, isn't it? But yeah, but like I say, we're not gonna go straight to like 5,000. Like if I can grow after my show on like 4,000, it will probably push him to just below, like give him an extra 1,000 calories straight off the bat, and just make sure he's obviously, because it's first time competing, make sure you've got a lot of satiation in the plan. So make sure he's enjoying his food. I just don't want him starving to death. To an extent, it probably will feel like he's still sort of in prep a little bit of having to stick to his things. But I just don't want it. The only issue is really it's binging. Really, you just don't want them to binge. You just don't want them to eat like double or triple the amount of calories that they need in a day, because that's where it starts all going tits up. And not only does it make it so that you give yourself less of a runway to grow and to progress, and like your insulin sensitivity and all that, but the thing what it does do, and this is one thing what, like, I've seen a lot of people talking shit about it lately as well, like people hating on people wanting to be strict and stay lean, but I guarantee you, if you're putting 10 kilos on in 2 weeks, yeah, your fucking heart does not like that shit. As much as you want to fucking talk shit about it, yeah, about your lack of discipline, it's your fucking, like, your heart doesn't rate that. And alright, you might be early 20s, 25, whatever, like, like early 20s, under 30, you might be super healthy, you might be one of these freaks what it doesn't affect. But for most people, especially if you're above 30, if you're putting on like all this weight like in a week or in 2 weeks, it fucking puts a lot of stress on your heart and kidneys, man. And like I said, I've seen a lot of people hating on that lately on the internet, saying, oh, why you don't have to be strict, blah 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 blah. Like I said, some people can get away with it, but some people you can't, for the fucking sake of your health, for the sake of your fucking health, man. But yeah, but for me, as long as you're eating enough to fuel your session, as long as you're eating enough to get your sleep back to normal. Obviously, body fat does need to come up a little bit, just for like a more of a, just to like help with your hormones and that really, and make you feel fucking normal. Yeah, and as long as you can recover from your training again, which sometimes, depending on how hard you've pushed and how low you go, well, just how lean you are really, it can take like a week, 2 weeks. I think it took me about 3 weeks till I started feeling normal. And still then you do get the odd occasion, the odd session where you do feel it afterwards. But main thing is getting that sleep back to normal, making him so you are going to be hungry as well for the first fucking at least 6 weeks after your show, maybe up to 10. You're gonna be fucking really hungry. But yeah, and as long as you've got some flexibility, so if you want to fucking eat out, you can do. As long as you're not fucking binging, man. Like if you want balance, then like binging is not balance. Like people think, oh yeah, it's balance, so you do a prep, yeah, and then say that you're on like fucking say that you go back up to like 3,000 calories a day, 3,500 a day, yeah. Most people go probably like to 3,000, between 3,500, 4,500, yeah. And then, oh, I know what we'll do tonight. We'll have because I've been hard on the missus this prep. What we'll do is tonight we'll get Domino's, yeah. So obviously, like a Domino's, like unless you're a fucking child, yeah, like. If I'm getting a Domino's, if me and Emma used to get Domino's, right, I'm getting my own pizza, obviously, probably the biggest one they do, whatever that is. Plus, I'll get some cookies for myself, plus an ice cream, plus whatever else. That's like 3,000 calories. That's not balance. That's not balance. That's a fucking eating disorder. Like, people might think that's balance, but it's not fucking balance. Yeah. Like I said, but and it's like even like a Five Guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I fucking do miss Five Guys, yeah. But you can't fucking. It's hard to have a Five Guys and have balance when like one burger is 1,000 calories, and let alone fucking 2 burgers. And like, fuck me, I don't think I've ever been to Five Guys and just got 1 burger. But then again, maybe I'm just talking from my own personal fucking bad habits. But I'd find ways to fucking justify it, and I know you couldn't say much different. But yeah, but yeah, I've been thinking over there with my like with my training, like, because there's a few machines that are new at this gym we're training at. And I'm thinking, right, which one should I swap as like for likes? Because so obviously there's a prime chest supported row here, but then there's also like I can't explain what it's called. It's like a leverage row, but I sort of like, it's one that I see similar to one that I see Derek Lunsford using all the time. Yeah? So it's obviously just a chest supported fucking row, but I had to go on the one that the sort of like Derek Lunsford done the other day, and fucking hell, man, it did feel good. And I've never really fucking gelled with that prime seated chest supported row that much. So we might swap that for that. And then there's one thing what I have noticed, and again, it's anecdotal evidence, this, because obviously there'll be people that get peeled to death and don't even touch them. But there's one thing that I've noticed, and I see a lot of guys who get fucking peeled to death from the back here, and they do deadlifts in the routine. And yeah, usually at the end of the back there. So yeah, I don't know if it's one of them, innit? They serve a purpose when they serve a purpose. It's one of them things where you can probably do it in your off season, and then you can probably pull it in prep, and you're still gonna get the benefits from it. Then as long as you're doing some sort of because you got to remember, like, I know people, like, you don't have to holding on to muscle is a lot easier than it is to fucking grow new muscle. So say that we build a bit more thicker, denser glutes, hamstrings, low back from doing deadlifts in the off season, in prep to hold on to that density. You don't have to do as much, man. You don't have to do as much. Whether that be you don't have to do as much load, or we don't have to do as much. You definitely don't have to do as much volume, put it that way. But yeah, but it's one of those that we sort of have to play it by ear, because I do know that if I'm not careful, my lower back can flare up. And usually what happens is, it's not so much when I'm doing them, it's the next day I can be fucking crippled. So yeah, and then arms are definitely growing. There's some decent arm machines here, and there's a preacher bench, cables. It's fucking everything what we need to have a good session. For about 10 minutes. Right. Yeah, one thing I know I said it in my other videos, but since I've been having the GDAs, got them cheat code GDAs. From Gasmark 10 with my pre-workout meal, I don't feel like I'm going to fall asleep in the car anymore. So no longer to eat on the way to the gym. I can fucking eat and then set off when I'm ready. Yeah. Pitbull pump going in, non-steam pre-workout. You know we don't really rate the steams.
And then we'll do other steps, hip push up. I mean, that's like that.
Yeah. Bad boy session. Gonna start doing them just a normal deadlift like that, man. You know what it is? I've noticed that because I haven't really been fucking loading my glutes, I've started to get like low back pumps here and there. Sort of like where my low back's taking over stuff when, like, because my glutes aren't firing because they're not like because they're fucking not really being used. Like, I don't really use them on leg press, don't really use them on hack. There's no exercises that I do at the moment where I do them. So what I've said is now we'll make sure that what we'll do is we'll do the deadlift. We'll just do the fucking old school deadlift, man, as long as it feels good. And I just need to make sure I get it in once a week, ideally in the Saturday session. But if for whatever reason I don't do it in the Saturday session, I'll do it in the Monday back session. And I think as well, sticking to just one working set for now, in that sort of like 6, 7 to 10 range. Just one working set. I'll just make sure as well that it don't fucking ruin any of my other sessions. Yeah, man. I'll show you what we've got today. So we'll fuck the cereal off. Can you see this now here? Look at that. So what we've got here, we've got rice flakes, yeah? Rice flakes from Amazon, fucking super cheap. So we've got rice flakes from Amazon. We've got banana in, salt, a little bit of toffee flavour drops, just for a bit of sort of like a sweetener. Oh, we've got vanilla flavour drops. And then we've got the Gas Mark 10 lemon cheesecake where, oh boy, this is like a nice thick dessert. But I just prefer the, you know what it is, I prefer the texture on this than I do cream of rice when I'm in off season, man. When my food's higher, I tend to go off cream of rice. I don't know what it is. And this is fucking a lot easier to make as well. So why not? And it's like a bit, it's not as I know I said I've added in the flavour drops, but cream of rice can get a bit too much for me when my food's high. A bit too sweet, whereas it's sort of like a limit, if you get what I'm saying. A limit to how much tasty stuff I want. But yeah, perfect. Yeah, bad boy session today. Tell you what felt good as well, I've never used them before. Them the double arm bicep curl thing from behind with that. Obviously I've done it in the cable stack, whatever you want to call it, but I've never used one of them back supports. But fucking hell, game changer, man. Game changer, yeah. But yeah, we're gonna run with that workout for a bit. It's fucking perfect session, that. And then tomorrow we're gonna do push. We're gonna do push here as well. There's no free weight dip bar, so we can't do the dips with the weighted dips. But there's a prime dip machine, and you can change the resistance on it. So we're gonna have a little play about at that, and we'll see. But yeah, overall, bad boy session. Super happy. Right, I'm gonna eat this, and in fact I'm gonna drive home, I'm gonna find a podcast, and I'm gonna eat this and probably go to the supermarket and where. But yeah, nice one for watching, guys. Another one down. Like I said, if you got any questions, leave them in the chat or drop me a DM on Instagram and I'll get back to you straight away. Yeah, man. Right, nice one, guys. Peace out.